Friends, demo men, melee lovers, we gather here to celebrate the life of the Ullapool Caber. Born on December 17, 2010, this loved melee was a bright and fun weapon. Its explosive impact was used to bring joy to the user and rage to the enemy. Alas, after dealing with gunmetal, it died on December 17, 2015, on its 5th birthday, murdered by the ones who gave it life. May it rest in peace in melee heaven. Well, enough about that. Let's talk about the Ullapool Caber. So the Caber's been dead for a while now, and we should talk about it. Everyone understands that it's useless just by using it for a few minutes. But why is that? Originally, the weapon had the ability to kill most classes in a single swing. The idea for this weapon was simple. Demo 1 has explosives, so why not make a melee that has explosives? It had the risk of killing yourself, but if used correctly, it would be powerful. So powerful, in fact, that Valve saw it was useful enough that it needed nerfing. So much nerfing that now any Demo Man melee is better than the Caber. The problem started with the first nerf of the gunmetal update. It was understandable since Valve felt that the weapon was overpowered, so they put it into a less powerful state to fix it up. At this point, it was not super useful, but at least it could be a fun weapon to pull out in battle. The real problem came from the Tough Break update. At least they buffed the melee damage, but it isn't enough to justify the nerfs. This update made the Caber deploy 100% slower and attack 20% slower. Primarily, I want to talk about the first nerf since the latter doesn't matter as much for the strategy. So here's the kicker. It takes forever to deploy. The strategy of the weapon after it couldn't one-shot was the surprise aspect of it. Low on health? Melee boom. Can't land your shots? Explosive smack. Now, hope your enemy will wait for you to switch weapons. This nerf just didn't make any sense. Why make the weapon harder to do even a slightest bit of damage with when the Caber is already hard enough to even use as a weapon itself? The weapon needs support from outside sources to be useful. Alone, the explosive damage will only do 120 damage, and you might be able to finish off the class that you just hit, since it won't kill anybody, but keep in mind, you will be blasted up into the air, doing some damage to yourself, risking that you may or may not be able to get back to that class in time to kill it. Sure, you could use a full Demo Knight set, but why use the Caber when any of the swords are much better to use? Oh, not to mention that after one hit, you have to respawn or hit a health cabinet for it to be useful again, and that's only if your spawn point will have a cabinet. A weapon that's this unreliable and encourages returning to spawn to be useful again is just not worth it, and it needs fixing. So this is how we're going to fix it. The first thing that we could do is make it like one of its old modes, or combine them. Like, we should keep the speed nerfs, but make it one-shot again to most classes. So just make it harder to get out, but the reward is that if you could get it out in time to hit somebody, you will kill them instantly if they're the right class. The second thing we could do is create a regeneration version of the weapon, like a charge or a Girardi. You know, being able to hit somebody once and then give about 20 to 30 seconds time frame before you could actually hit somebody again with that explosion. Maybe make the weapon unable to be used in that time frame. Of course, that could mess with the whole thing with the Demo Knight not having the ability to switch to another weapon, but it's something to consider. Either one of these changes would be great. As it stands right now, it's better to detonate a sticky at your feet to do damage to the opponent than it is to use the Caber and wait for it to deploy. The best way to use the Caber in this trash state is to use a grenade launcher and a shield that isn't a tide turner with it. With the shield, you can do the partial Demo Knight strategy with getting the critical hits, And with the grenade launcher, you can hit and be able to finish off the classes that you have hit. Also, don't use this on control point maps or any offensive teams. These are very difficult to have the proper spawn rooms to be able to regenerate your caber when you use it. Attacking teams where not all spawn rooms will have the cabinet, and not all CP maps will have cabinets in each of the spawn rooms. Though with all this being said, the caber is still a fun, guilty pleasure of mine, but not all the time. If I'm in the mood for, I don't know, being useful, I won't use the caber. I want this weapon to be useful, but hey, we got so many other options for melees that I don't really mind not having the caber. But what do you think? Does the caber need a buff, or does it need to stay where it's at? Should it be changed in a way that makes it useful, or be doomed to a life in the trash can? Thank you all so much for watching. This has been HR Prime. Thanks for your time. God bless, and happy gaming.